Hey, Taylor Rapp here from the LA Rams. Shout out to Steve Taylor, the real sports guy, and the honorary Ram. When Steve's talk sports, you better listen. Thanks, Steve from the Rams, for your continued support and love. We are taking it all the way this year, but you already know that. Go Rams.
Oh, it's Saturday morning, and you know what that means? It's Keeping It Real Sports. I'm the real sports guy, Steve Taylor. He is the Sandman, Andy Sanzada. Please like, subscribe. Make sure you comment. Let us know how you feel, because we definitely are going to let you know how we feel. Huge show planned for you today. We've got the America's Continental Champion scheduled for 10 o'clock. However, he is in South Beach. But we're in Everett now. But Prince Albert Bell is scheduled to be on the program here today. Andy, we got so much to talk about.
Steve, it's going to be a great show. It's sunny. It's going to be almost 70 degrees in Ohio in March. What?
Yes, it is. Yes.
All right. Let's
and the madness will be starting. Oh, man. And it's already beginning. Let's get right into it, Andy.
Quick hitters.
Quick hitters.
All right, Steve. Well, I'm going to start us off as always. And, listen, you're going to talk a little bit later in the show. We've got an unusual sound off in a different way. Rightfully so. It's going to be about the situation over in Ukraine. And I'm going to speak to that right now, because when certain people talk, other people listen, right? This is the greatest hockey player that's ever walked the face of the earth. Everybody knows it. It's Wayne Gretzky. And last week on TNT in the outdoor game, he said that the IIHF, the International Hockey Federation, should consider banning Russia and Belarus from the World Juniors that are going to be taking place in Canada. Guess what? 3 days later, it happened. And not only did that happen, they also removed Russia as the host site for 2023, and they've been banned from those games already. So I'm proud of Gretzky for speaking his mind, and I'm more proud of the IIHF for listening.
Yeah, man, that's a big deal, man. Things are starting to come down as the sanctions continue to come up on Russia. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but I tell you what needs to talk about is, look, it's the final countdown, the final game of this guy, Duke's coach, Mike Krzyzewski. Tickets are going for $3,500 for Coach K. He's the winningest man in college basketball history. Give me your thoughts on the finale of Coach K.
I'm going to be watching it for sure.
Darn right you are.
Well, it's North Carolina Duke. I'm going to be watching it regardless. But, Steve, listen, I understand that basketball is everything in North Carolina. I understand that man is North Carolina, whether it's Duke or North Carolina. I understand he is college basketball. But I'm not paying $3,500.
I'm good with that.
I'm not even paying that to go to the Super Bowl.
I'm good with that.
So, kudos to, I don't know how college kids can afford $3,500 anyway, but that's a whole nother subject. But, all right, well, the Combine started this week in Indianapolis, and the big talk around here is who are the Browns going to look at number 13? And with the uncertainty of Jarvis Landry's contract, they've got to think about a wide receiver, Steve. And I can't think of two better possibilities than these two right here. Garrett Wilson on the right, Chris Olave on the left. Garrett Wilson now has a previous relationship with Baker Mayfield. something to keep an eye on. And Chris Olave has openly stated that he wants to stay in Ohio and play for a team in Ohio. And he knows, as well as you and I, that the only way he can do that is for the Browns, because the Bengals aren't going to get him towards the end of the draft, because he'll be long gone before that. But a 4.26 at a 40, Browns going to have a tough decision if those two are both on the board, my friend.
Yeah, don't get my sister started on Chris Olave. Please don't get her started. I hear her yelling right now. Okay,
Yep,
it's all right.
know.
It's okay.
I know.
Yeah, man.
I've prepared her for it, so she's ready.
Hey, look, man, while we're gonna stick, man, with the combine, out of 300 invitees to the NFL draft combine, the biggest story is the hands of this guy, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett reportedly has 8.5-inch hands. That's the same size, the smallest hand, people, that in the NFL, measured in the NFL since who? Michael Vick. He turned out to be pretty good. I'm just saying.
I mean, he broke every record Dan Marino broke, Steve. Obviously, the guy can hold on to
I kind of told you about that. Yeah, but ball security was an issue, and that's what they're hoping that don't translate to the NFL, because there's one thing about the NFL football, people, it is a little bit bigger than the college football.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see, how that gets handled. But there are a lot of teams in those first 20 picks, Steve, that are looking for a franchise quarterback, whether it's now or the next 2 or 3 years. I would draft him and bring him in to learn and see what he can do that way. But, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Hey, let's hurry up.
Hurry up.
Well, the Duke North Carolina game isn't the only big fight, if you will, tonight, my friend. I know you can't wait for this one. And I'm going to let you break it down, because you know more about it than anyone else that I know.
Well, Covington and Masvidal used to train at the AT&T facility, the same facility, okay? And Covington had, let's just say, some goats in the closet that Masvidal didn't care about. And they were once best friends. Now they're bitter rivalry. People, this is not a game. This is not a smokescreen. This is real. This is deep, downright dishatred between these two men. And when the cage locked tonight, I cannot wait to see what happens with Colby Covington, the former champion, going against the BMF champion, Jorge Masvidal.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot, because you've done that to me in a couple of shows. Who you got?
I'll tell you what. If Masvidal doesn't fall for the ground game of Colby Covington, because Covington is very superior on the ground, if he does that, I like Masvidal. Masvidal is a superior striker. Covington understands that. They know each other well. I just want to see who breaks fast. I think they're going to just break down and see and duke it out. And if they do, Covington can't beat Masvidal.
Do you think it goes the full 5 rounds?
Hell no.
I was expecting that kind of answer. Hey, listen, Steve, now that the NFL is kind of gone away for a little while, until we get closer to the draft at least, it's time to start turning our focus on the NBA, my friend. And we got quite a few stories to get to in the hurry up today. Why don't we start with, do we have a Zion sighting possibly?
Yeah, man. Well, we did. We finally got word from Zion Williamson. He's starting to begin basketball activities with full weight activities. So that's edging toward him coming back. You think the fact that they didn't won 5 of their last 6 games may have a little bit to do with it? I'm just saying.
Yeah, and you know what? Ever since they made that trade, they've been playing pretty good basketball. So if he can come back, Steve, and right now in the West, who knows, right? I mean, if for some reason they could go on a 8 to 10 game winning streak, they could actually put themselves back in the play-in.
Well, yeah, because we know who ain't going to be in the play-in game, and we can just quit talking about this now. It's the Lakers. I mean, why are we even talking about this, man? I mean, you guys got demolished mollywopped by the LA Clippers. I said Clippers the other night. They were chanting Reggie. I'm talking about Reggie Jackson, not the home run hitter. We talking about Detroit Reggie Jackson, for crying out loud. Come on, man.
Listen, I think Russell Westbrook is
Wait a minute.
probably
Let me say this.
he's in the most denial I've ever seen in his career.
Westbrook.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, Steve. He's in the worst denial I've ever seen in his entire career.
Well, kudos to the LA front office. He said, you know what, y'all made this bed, man. Hey, man, you laying. Man, we ain't fixing this for you. Jeannie Buss stood up. She stood up to LeBron James. I want to play with my son. Well, you know what? You gonna have enough draft picks, man. You might just have that chance. I'm just saying.
Here's the other thing. I'm kind of pissed at LeBron right now, okay? Because ever since the All-Star game was here last week, he had to open his mouth because God forbid the people in Cleveland just let him go forever. Please let him go, media in town. You had to open your mouth and ask him, would he ever come back? Why would you do that? Why? Because guess what he's done, Steve? He's become a distraction. And guess what's happened to my Cavaliers? They've lost 6 out of 7. Coincidence?
Wow, man! I just got a text from Tom Cole. Tom, man, we appreciate your support. The great Tom Cole. We got to get you on this program,
yes,
Tom Cole. We got to get you on the program. Yes. But thank you. We thank you so much, man. Thanks for reaching out.
But Steve, man, I don't want him back. We don't want him back. Nobody in Cleveland wants him back. I don't care what anybody says. They need to try to win without LeBron James, and they were doing that until he was asked if he would come back. Now the players are wondering, what are they going to do next year? They're already thinking too far ahead. Focus, people. Now, they almost beat Philly last night, so I'll give them a little bit of credit because Philly's on a roll, Steve. Philly's tough to beat right now, and to have to play them in the midst of a losing streak is not fair, but they got to figure this out or they're going to slip out, which I will give you credit. You said would happen.
Well, I told you I would kind of pay attention to it.
But I don't think they're going to go all the way out of the play-in. Let's not go that far.
Right.
I don't think it can get that bad.
Okay, so and as we're talking about, man, what's not going to happen, man, this dude here is not going away, man. I tried to tell you 4 years ago. You remember all of my people that's been following me back when I was on ESPN radio, and I screamed when he was at Murray State, y'all don't know about Ja. Well, I knew what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about right there. I said he was going to be more electrifying than Zion Williamson. Yes, I said it first. I said it 4 years ago. I stood by it then. I say it now. The most electrifying player in basketball is Ja Morant. Y'all don't know about Ja because you don't stay up.
Well, I know about Ja, and what I'll tell you about Ja, Steve, is this man needs to start being brought up when we're talking about the most valuable player in the NBA.
Yeah, he dropped 51 on my Spurs. You see that? Did you see that sick performance?
I did.
Did you see what I tweeted out immediately after because I got ahead of it before SportsCenter because the way he did.
I don't have Twitter, but
what did
you say? You're gonna tell me.
I tweeted it out I put up the dunk, man, when he posterized Jakob Poeltl, and I said, man, see, this here is just sick, and it gave 4 different angles, and the kid is sick. He is absolutely sick. He's putting up just highlight reel dunks, highlight reel plays. The most electrifying player in basketball, Ja Morant.
Well, we said that the NFL was going to sleep a little bit. Come on, Steve. We know the NFL never goes to sleep, right? Yeah. All right, there were 2 major stories that presented themselves this week, and I know you and I are going to talk about these because that's what we do, right?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Right,
All right. So where do you want to go first?
Man, give me the punk first. Give me the punk first.
All right, I'll give you the punk.
There you go. That would be him. This would be, man, when Larry Fitzgerald Sr. comes out and he says he was spoiled, and here's what got to me, people. What he said was they brought an Oklahoma offense to the NFL where NFL players had to adapt to it. Let me say that again. They brought Oklahoma offense to an NFL where they allow NFL players to adapt to it. This here explains the fast start for Kyler Murray. This also explains the fizzle out of Kyler Murray. People, this is going to continue, and you can scrub your Twitter accounts of all Cardinal paraphernalia. Okay, look, dude, you're not going to get a contract because they don't trust you right now. Yeah, hopefully down the road you'll get one, but they don't trust you right now. And they showed you that when they doubled down by signing the coach and the GM the contract this week, the week coincidentally that you asked for a contract extension. I'm just saying.
You know, he's asking for top quarterback money, right? He's asking for Aaron Rodgers money. He's asking for, even though he's retired, Tom Brady money.
But
what has he done, Steve, other than win Rookie of the Year? What has he done to earn that contract? Nothing.
That's what we're talking about. So we're talking about Kyler Murray and then this other dude that's got the Green Bay Packers franchise totally handcuffed. The man's name starts with an A. And Rodgers totally has that franchise, man. Handcuffs, man. You heard me going off about this morning. He knows what he wants to do, but he's a selfish SOB, and he continues to choke this franchise. Why don't you make a decision, Aaron? Because guess what? Tag day begins on Monday, and the Packers are going to either have to sign Devontae Adams long-term or going to have to tag him. And guess what? It is reported that he wants to make $50 million or more. Well, guess what? You ain't going to do that in Green Bay. I'm just saying. You already know what you want to do. Just tell us.
Yeah, I mean, the whole I'm torn thing, come on. You're not torn. You either want to leave or you want $50 million. And Green Bay's not giving you $50 million, so you have your decision made for you. Listen, Steve, I don't care how good he is in the regular season. He keeps choking in the playoffs. Are you going to give a guy that can't win you a Super Bowl $50 million a year just because he wins back-to-back MVPs? I'm not.
No. So, there it is.
All right. So that's what we got for the hurry up.
So, Andy, let's just pause for a minute. We are efforting the champ, and even if we don't get him, we will definitely get that interview up for you, and we'll definitely play that interview for you. We will definitely make it happen. The man is in South Beach. I can't blame him. I saw him in the Hey, man, the last time he shot me a picture and said, "Look, bro, this is what I'm doing right now." He was in the ocean. Better place than me.
I think he might have thought you would say 1 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. Because, listen, if I'm down in South Beach, I'm not getting my ass out of bed until close for that time anyway.
Yeah. Well, shout out to him, man. Man, we'll come back. We'll talk about his fight last Saturday night. And we'll talk about some of the things that we would have talked about with him. And then we've got the BDI, man. We've got Sound Off, and we've got NFL mock draft. We got a lot for you. We're going to step aside. We'll be right back. It is Keeping It Real Sports. I'm the Real Sports Guy. He is the Sandman. Are you a business owner overwhelmed with projects, planning, and paperwork? Then Crystal Clear Communications is for you. Crystal Clear Communications provide business services to help you get back to what you love. Proposal development to social media and newsletters, Crystal Clear Communications help business owners get more done. Give Crystal a call at 419-215-0735 or just visit her on Facebook at Crystal Clear Communications. Welcome back to Keeping It Real Sports. I'm the Real Sports Guy. He is the Sandman. Hey, look, make sure you leave a comment, man. We see you watching us. Leave a comment. We want to hear what you're thinking. You can tell us. We'll put them up. We'll play it, man, in real time. Let us know what you're thinking. Make sure you like and subscribe. Andy, the former champion last week, Toledo's champion, Prince Albert Bell, goes to Atlanta for a night of boxing. He signed a deal with Fight TV to put this on, where he faced off with the loose Prescott, and he stops him in the first round. TKO, beautiful uppercut. I mean, man, the hand speed is electrifying. I mean, and the dude is the real deal. He is the most avoided 130-pound fighter in the nation. This is true. Chris Colbert was unbeaten, number 2 ranked in the world, fought on that same card. His opponent, Gutierrez, got COVID. Okay, Albert, he said he wanted to stop in. He said, I'll tell you what, I'll fight him. I'll fight him on short notice. I don't care. I'll fight him on short notice. Dude didn't want to fight.
Yeah. Well, he's extremely talented, obviously. Speed, his ability with the jab. Like you said, he won the fight with an uppercut. He's just got the whole package, Steve.
Right.
And, you can't blame anybody. Who's going to want to step in and have to face that? Because basically you're walking into a loss.
But
The way he's fighting right now, you are walking into a guaranteed loss.
Look, I saw the weigh-in. I saw him. He back getting his hands taped. I saw him warming up before he went out. The one word that came to mind repeatedly was relaxed. The kid was relaxed. When he got in the ring, he was so relaxed. And you could see that in his performance, man. He's so confident right now, man. Nobody is fighting. By the way, Chris Colbert was unbeaten. He goes on. He took on to fight Hector Garcia. Garcia steps in on short notice, and he won the fight going away against Chris Colbert. So, Albert saw something, and I really want to ask him, what did he see that made him want to step in and fight Chris Colbert? Now Colbert loses. Everybody avoiding it. Now he's looking for a possible title shot against Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson looking to defend his title against Oscar Valdez, which is up in jeopardy now because Valdez just tested positive for some foreign substance. So, that's up in the air. But the point I'm getting to, nobody wants to fight Albert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why he's down in South Beach living it up right now. Hey, Steve, what do you say we throw up our top 10 for the week? Because
let's get to it, man.
We can extend our little sound offs because we both got a lot to talk about this week for sure. So let's throw it up there. Obviously, like we've said all year, the first 3 aren't going anywhere. Auburn playing really good over this last 2 weeks, moving back up to number 4. Baylor as well. They've found their defense again, even without the big man in the middle.
Yeah, that's what it was. It took adjustment for Baylor without the big man in the middle. Now they got the one kid that's got the green in his hair that is starting to take his spot. He was a freshman. He's starting to work to work into it. The thing is, everybody in the top 10 last week was unprecedented. The top 10, the top 6 teams were defeated last week, and we're talking about 7 of the top 10 teams go down. So it was unprecedented what happened in the NCAA. But looking at it, when I look at it from my BDI, number 1 is the Gonzaga. Gonzaga, even though they lost, man, St. Mary's at home. Man, that's a tough ask on senior night.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they played with a lot of spirit and enthusiasm. Arizona, even though they dropped, man, Arizona's playing well. They got the former Gonzaga coach, so Arizona is playing exactly like Gonzaga-esque. I like those 2 at the top. I also like the way that Duke is playing right now. I think Duke is starting to peak at the right time. Auburn, Andy, we told you the thing that we worried about them was the inability to shooting, and that caught up with them last week. Baylor, like you mentioned, they're starting to catch a stride, and I really like what I'm seeing with the Bears. They can knock you down defensively, and that Flagler, man, he's the real deal, man.
Oh, for sure.
He's so fast.
He's
going to
be
so fast.
I think an NBA draft pick in the lottery for sure. Yeah, and he's a transfer, Steve.
Yeah, Kansas. The big man in the middle, Abaji, man. He's a 3-and-D guy. Kentucky is what they are. What about Wisconsin?
I was just going to ask you.
That they were going to just fall off. They have not.
No.
They've gotten better all year long, man. And that kid that they got, man, is the real flipping deal, man.
Davis, yeah. I mean, he's special. And I was going to ask you, and I guess we can probably get into it more in next week's show because it'll be happening during next weekend. But who do you like in the Big Ten tournament this week?
It's tough.
I know.
It's tough because right now the health of the Buckeyes is going to have a lot to. And did you see Joey freaking Brunk the other night?
Oh, I know. That was a huge
win.
Huge
Joey
win
Brunk.
Yeah.
What?
Huge win for the Buckeyes, Steve, especially after a bad loss before that. So,
yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll get former Buckeye, man. Let's get Kelvin Ramsey, man. Let's get him in here, man, and talk about the Buckeyes. That's what we need to do next week.
Yeah, because the Big Ten Championship's next weekend.
Yeah. Let's get him in here, man. He's still the fourth leading scorer in Ohio State basketball history.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm gonna ask you for that. So.
yeah. There it is.
All right. So there's our top 10. So, all right, Steve. Now, I think it's time for sound off. Obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna start because I have a traditional sound off. I'm gonna go off on a lot of people. Okay. But you're gonna close the show because you have a very thoughtful type of sound off and helping people understand what's going on in the other side of the world. Okay. But I'll start because that's what we do, right? All right. Listen, we talked about this before. Okay. And I want you to stay in for this one. I don't want this to be me by myself. We talked about this before. We saw it coming. We knew it was coming. We predicted it was coming, right? You and I both did. Okay. Need I remind everybody involved, especially these two, because Steve, these two are the problem. Okay. They have such a big ego that they just don't want to even consider compromising. Okay. Tony Clark is the players' representative on the right. Rob Manfred is the worst commissioner in all of professional sports on the left. All right. Do we need to remind them that the only reason that they have this argument in the first place is this? Hello? It's us, the fans. You don't have us in your stadiums. You're not making any money. Okay? And guess what? I'm sticking by it. I said it before this started, and I'm going to say it again today. I will not attend a Major League Baseball game in the year 2022, maybe not for the next 5 years. What they are arguing over is absolutely ridiculous. It is selfish. It is greedy. It is inexcusable, and they don't give two shits about the fans. That's the bottom line, Steve. They don't care about the fans. It's all about the money. It's all about the owners. It's all about the players. It's not about the fans. Because you know what? If it was about the fans, it wouldn't be a lockout. We would be in spring training right now. We would be talking about spring training and who do we think could win the World Series. There isn't going to be a World Series this year, my friend. There won't be because these two are not going to budge, and they just don't care about us. And so I think we shouldn't care about them.
Oh, well said. Well said. Yeah, man, you stick in as well, man, because I'm normally I pick this time to really go off and sound off about what bothers me in the world of sports. But what's bothering me now is bigger than the world of sports, and this show is far from a political show, and I don't intend to turn it to political. But the atrocities that the Russian nation is putting upon the Ukrainians and forcing just unnecessary action on civilians that are forcing stars to join the fight. Stars like Vasily Lomachenko, world boxing champion, who put down his belt to pick up a weapon to help fight off the Russian attack against his country. Stars like the Klitschko brothers, who stepped in courageously to fight for their country as they're being under siege by selfish individuals. Fighters like Alexander Uchek, who decided to push back his championship. I said championship fight, to pick up a weapon to fight for his country. People, this is a different kind of fight that these fighters are fighting. And my thoughts and my prayers are with these families and with these guys, because these guys may not ever come back. And that's the sad part about it. That's the sad part about it. We may never see these champions be champions again. But right now, you're fighting a bigger fight. And in my eye, you're a bigger champion. My thoughts and prayers go out to each and every one of you. God bless you all. I hope you all come back. That's my sound off for this week.
Yeah, very well spoken, Steve. And listen, for those of you that don't know, my good friend, my brother, the real sports guy, served for this country in the military. And I know that when you see things happen like this, it hits you a little bit harder than most because you've actually done it. And I can imagine that you're feeling the way that a couple of my other friends that have served in the military are feeling, and you wish you could be there helping in some way, because it just shouldn't be happening. I mean, that's the bottom line. So hopefully it'll come to an end.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can come to peace. But yes, all of us are sending our thoughts and prayers over to those involved. And the one thing I will say, Steve, is we need to understand that the Russian people are not for what is happening. Okay.
They don't know what's going on.
Correct.
That's the sad part about it.
Yeah. So we also need to pray for them too. And I know people might look at me strange for saying that, but the people that are not part of what is happening need prayers as well.
Yep.
And I think we don't need to, look at that as an oversight.
So there you go. Another one's in the book, man. And I tell you, man, we apologize for the champ not getting in, but I tell you, we will get that interview, and I promise you, we'll air that for you next week as we'll chat with him, because he will pop up at some point. I promise you, he's in South Beach. Yeah, he ain't gotta say nothing else. He's like, man, I'm in South Beach. Yeah,
that's exactly it.
I tried to get up for you, brother, but I ain't getting it.
We didn't promise. So had we promised, we might look a little bit worse than we do right now.
So there you go, man.
All right.
That's our music, man. Hey, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you tell a friend, bring a friend, comment, all of that, man. We get all that in, man. We need all of that. Thank you for support. Keeping It Real Sports 2,100 views, one of the largest watch shows that we have. They're starting to pick up. Thank you, each and every one of us. Andy, until next week.
Wish you love.
And peace. Hey, we'll see you. Deuces.